Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Pitch Side podcast channel. I'm your host, the HOD of the PSP, and welcome back to another video here on the channel reacting to the breaking news in Borussia Dortmund's halls today. They finally sacked Lucien Favre, a little bit too late it seems, but they did that indeed. First of all, like, share, comment on the video, of course, subscribe to the channel and enable notifications to receive more updates about these videos, these kind of videos, and the podcast, of course, on this channel. So Lucien Favre and Borussia Dortmund parted ways after a 2 seasons and a half stint at the club, in which he did little to nothing in terms of the actual trophy and the the achievements as far as the club is concerned. Little of silverware he achieved in that club, only 1 Super Cup from those 2 seasons and a half, barely having any sort of big moments with that club. After, of course, that came after the defeat against Stuttgart 5-1 at the Signal Iduna Park. Obviously, everybody expected Lucien Favre to not live long after that result, even before everybody was, kind of waiting when this decision is going to be coming. Something, including myself, really, it's a little bit too late, a little bit overdue, I think, for Lucien Favre. I would have personally sacked him since he lost to PSG away from home in the Champions League in the back end of March or whatever. I mean, the guy has really, I think, lost the plot. He's another one of those, coaches that Dortmund had in the last couple of seasons, where the play is exciting, the youngsters are performing well, but there's no real bite, there's no real experience, no real solidity for that club, and that's why they don't have much achievements as they would expect it to. They could not topple Bayern in terms of the pecking order at the Bundesliga. As I mentioned, little silverware they got in his stint, and actually since Jurgen Klopp left in 2015, really the club has been, not at the very best. At least they still maintain their status in some sort as the second best team in Germany, despite the fact that RB Leipzig maybe have an argument against that in the last couple of seasons. That has been the trait with all the coaches that have been since Jurgen Klopp, I mean, including Jurgen Klopp himself, really, but Jurgen Klopp was more successful objectively and subjectively than those coaches. A Champions League final, 2 league trophies, 2 cups, a Super Cup, I mean, and of course, for a moment and for a period of time, Dortmund felt like the strongest team in Germany by a country mile against Bayern Munich. Then the coaches that came after Jurgen Klopp, Thomas Tuchel, Peter Bosz, Peter Stöger, if you forget, he was a coach for 6 months at Borussia Dortmund, and now Lucien Favre have been treated by the same characteristic: exciting play, involving the youngsters a lot, but no real solidity, no real experience, no real bite for that club. You don't feel that Dortmund are a solid and a focused team and an experienced side. There's still a lot of sometimes tactical naivety from those coaches. The young players sometimes get overburnt a little bit by the seriousness of the situation. The failures in the Bundesliga, of course, always fall not short. I think they fall quite far off the mark in the last couple of seasons in the Bundesliga. They can barely get close to Bayern Munich in their Klassiker. I mean, the last couple of their Klassikers, I thought they were disappointing because Borussia Dortmund have actually won those 2 Klassikers against Bayern Munich. Lucien Favre, I think, has been under criticism, under severe scrutiny for quite a while now, and it was just about time, I think, they get rid of him. Borussia Dortmund, Edin Terzic, the assistant coach of Lucien Favre, is going to take over as the interim coach until they appoint, of course, a new manager, and the options for a new manager are not exactly, very diverse. I mean, the big names that are available at the moment in the market are not exactly thrilling opportunities for Dortmund. The likes of, Massimiliano Allegri and Mauricio Pochettino are really the only 2 big names that Borussia Dortmund could really go for, but I don't think they will do that. They probably continue in their same mentality as of late, trying to find a coach that understands the club, that still uses the younger players, that keeps the exciting nature of Borussia Dortmund going on. But I think it's about time now for Borussia Dortmund to really change that a bit, to get themselves a serial winner, to get them a Jose Mourinho type of manager. Although, as I just said, I don't think that exists quite a lot in the market at the moment. Lucien Favre was decent for what he has. He has, 110 matches with the club. His record is quite decent, despite how bad he can perform at the big occasions, failing out of the Champions League in the last season, of course, against PSG in a fixture they should have won. They should have qualified, really, but they made it hard for themselves at the Signal Iduna Park. What's next for Borussia Dortmund now? As I mentioned, Edin Terzic is the interim coach until they bring a new one. Who's it going to be? What is going to be his style? Can he make an actual change for Borussia Dortmund? Can he really, can the new manager, whoever that may be, bring them to success? I tried to scour the social media a little bit. I posted a tweet on that, of course. That reminds me, a cheap plug, really. Follow me on social media, SidePSP on Twitter, PitchSidePod on Instagram. I posted a tweet on Twitter asking who is the coaches that are left, really, that could take Borussia Dortmund, and of course Mauricio Pochettino was top of the list, really. Everybody thought, well, Mauricio Pochettino, and I found a weird reply saying Roberto Di Matteo. I mean, I actually forgot that Roberto Di Matteo still exists. I mean, after he won the Champions League with Chelsea and then the Europa League in 2012 and 2013, I thought that guy disappeared for some reason out of the planet Earth, really. I couldn't believe that shout out, really. Maybe, in 2020, it's been a weird year, so who knows. That's it. That's all for my reaction to Lucien Favre's sacking. Just to recap again, I think it's overdue, probably 6 months too late for Lucien Favre for the sacking. The board should now move towards a much more serial winner type of a manager before they really lose their shine completely and probably will get outdone by Leipzig in terms of the pecking order of the Bundesliga. That's it for the video. Like, share, comment, of course, and subscribe to the channel. Again, follow us on social media, SidePSP on Twitter and PitchSidePod on Instagram. You can listen to the podcast, Spotify, Google Podcast, or any other platform. Until the next video, I was your boy, the HOD of the PSP, and goodbye.